What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about NEO. Now, you'll see from the title, look, I do think NEO can have gains in the next bull cycle, but they're not huge compared to what I think some of the other cryptos in the top 100 can do, and I'll explain why in this vid. Along with, we've got to talk about what happened with the DOJ yesterday. With the announcement about Bislato, the exchange. Timing of that was really conspicuous, and it does present a really interesting scenario with regards to Bitcoin over the next 36 hours. So we'll take a look at that too. Before I get into it though, guys, if you're new to the channel, these are the first 26 coins that I spoke about on this channel. They're also the ones I owned when I made the channel. I had been in the market for 6 years prior. Had you put in $100 into each of these coins when I released the videos about them, and then you did everything wrong. You never sold them, you just ignored them, you sat on them for 3 years. Remember, like, the token phrase of investing is buy low, sell high. And while there is truth to that, I don't necessarily agree with the actual, the phrase. I think it's caused a lot of losses for people. But what I will say is, had you bought them and then done nothing with them, doing everything wrong, you would still be in profit for around 10.2k doing everything wrong. But if you just sold these in 2021, when the markets were absolutely rocketing up, like I did, then $100, just $100 into each of these coins would have netted you a profit of 123 grand. Very big difference. Now, as I said, sold all these are not what I own, but if you want to see the coins that I actually own, my current portfolio, you can do. You just have to go to copymycrypto.com. There on that site, I share my portfolio. I let the members know anytime I buy or sell any crypto. Release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets. Absolutely been nailing it for the last few months, like within 0.1% of what Bitcoin's been hitting. And then on top of that, we have tutorials set up for beginners because we've got thousands of members and a lot have never been in crypto before. So these tutorials help along the way. And guys, we have a history of success on both the channel and the site. They're public record. You can go through the vids. Phantom was a course I did where it was titled The Best Crypto Investment of 2020. Had you just put in, $1,000 into Phantom, you'd have been able to buy a beautiful house. $2,000 into Phantom when I did that course. And if you sold at the high, would have netted you a profit of 1.3 million. Huge. Now, I'll find another Phantom, and when I do, I'm going to go onto my site and I'm going to do what I always do, which is break down the coin, the gains I think it can have, and the percentage of my money that I'm putting in, and what percentage of my holdings it will be. And members can just copy along. And if that interests you, you want to take the work out of your crypto investing, then go read the site, and remember, everything you read, you can verify yourself on the YouTube channel's history. Now, NEO, currently priced at $7, and part of what I want to show is the history of sort of NEO price action. NEO was priced at like very low back in the day, hit heights of, and that was when it was called Ant shares. That's actually before Ant shares, and it hit heights of I think at the peak around $160 in the 2018 cycle. In the previous bull cycle in 2021, hit heights of about $120. So it lost effectively a quarter of its value here. And then my belief is that we're probably going to see it lose half of its high from last year or from 2021. And part of that is, look, there's not really been true growth for NEO. NEO is legitimately one of the oldest cryptos about. And NEO as a blockchain is very good. The fact that you can move NEO, you're going to spend nothing other than gas, the actual gas token. So you're never losing NEO when you send NEO. You're losing a bit of gas, and gas doesn't cost a lot. Is a good thing. NEO is very, very fast. And basically they were always, for all of 2017 and 18, in particular, they were always basically called the Chinese Ethereum. Now, there's so much to really break down with Neo, but number one, look, obviously within China we have a complete crypto ban, mining ban and everything else, and that obviously is going to have a pretty big impact on Neo. And when you actually look at like timings, because this was the sort of 5th of June. No, sorry, the 6th of May. It's bloody American dates. 6th of May, and it was about $120 or thereabouts. And within about a week of that, a couple of weeks of that, it was down below sort of 40. And that was after the sort of China ban that we saw. And I think that's one thing that's going to have a big impact on Neo is, it's localized in China. That's where everything's set up. And I think they're going to be hit quite hard in terms of gains because fundamentally, you've got a continent that were far more, like people in China were far more heavily invested in Neo than anyone elsewhere. So now, with the situation with China, I do think they're going to lose growth in terms of price appreciation. Now, there's stuff that they've got up and running that I'm pleased to see. Now they've got a grants program for the Neo ecosystem. So that actually is a really positive thing. I'm always pleased to see that. That gives a good shot of growth, a good shot of price appreciation. Neo have moved on to V3 or N3, they call it, but version 3 of Neo, and they're looking at being interoperable. They have their native oracles. They've got their self-sovereign ID. They're looking at decentralized storage as well as Neo name service. Similar, basically the same principle as Ethereum name service, but Neo. One block finality as well as a multi-language platform. And what's actually quite good is they've introduced stuff like, you can, as a developer, you can develop in Java, Python, etc. But Java is basically the single most used development language in the world. So the fact that they're introducing that, it allows for developers to really push and grow with Neo. But when we actually really break down the dApps that Neo have, they're not great. When we actually properly look at the tokens on the Neo blockchain, when we look at the dApps that are utilized on Neo, we're not seeing volume. I know we're in a bear cycle, we're seeing piss all in terms of volume. We're seeing nothing in terms of let's have a look detailed view, see if they'll give us more on the transactions. Come on. So Flamingo. So transactions in the last 7 days now. That's total. So you're looking at 828,000 transactions in the last 7 days, which is not bad for Flamingo Finance. That's on their version 2. Flamingo Finance again, 27,000. That's it. So Flamingo Finance doing good volume, but beyond that, look at the volume on any of these. That's net volume as well. So the next best after Flamingo Finance is Neo Burger, which did 6,000 transactions across a week. This is not an ecosystem that is thriving, let's say, and that for me is a concern. They absolutely have to really, really push on ecosystem development because it's just lacking in so many significant ways. And here's the thing, there's not going to be a clamoring for something like a Neo name service worldwide. There might be a clamoring in a particular region here and there, but the clamoring for a particular naming service is always going to be Ethereum. Ethereum with first mover advantage. Ethereum is, the biggest NFTs are built on Ethereum. You've had celebrities endorsing effectively an Ethereum name service. So I don't really see how Neo name service is going to build real growth. While it's brilliant that they've got to mainnet 3, they have been up and running for since 2016 effectively, and they haven't made any real significant growth in that ecosystem. There's certainly not been development into there's certainly not been successful marketing into the tokens and the project built upon Neo, other than Flamingo Finance. Flamingo Finance, I believe, if I'm remembering right, I'm pretty sure that was part of Binance's incubator on their launch pad or launch pool. I can't remember which one. So of course Flamingo would have success because it was launched by the biggest exchange in the world. But everything else is just not. It's been so underwhelming. And the part of the reason that I don't believe that we're going to see huge growth, and maybe we'll see at $60, maybe it'll be more, may well be more, because it's an OG of the crypto space, so people are more, people feel stronger, people feel more confident, not stronger, people feel more confident in a crypto that's been around for ages. So it might still get back up to 100, but the reason I'm saying 60 is fundamentally, year on year, we're not actually seeing development at a speed that's akin to anything around. Look how fast Avalanche grew, Solana grew. Even Cardano took way longer to get to smart contract functionality than Neo, and Cardano is already bigger. Binance Smart Chain. Think how big that got, how fast Binance, grew that, and obviously they're backed by the exchange. But Neo's history doesn't indicate to me that we're going to see that massive growth that you would want, which is why I'm limiting my sort of call on that to maybe $60. Yes, quarter of, it went from all-time high of 160 to all-time high of 120, so that is a 25% drop. So if you're going to make the same logic, we could say $90. Say it works at the same scale. A 25% drop from 120 would be 90. So possibly it could get to 90, but my honest thing is the more I look at Neo, the more underwhelmed I am in terms of the growth that they've had. And until I've seen evidence that they're really pushing the grants program, really pushing effective marketing for some of these dApps, until we're seeing any semblance of sort of a transactional growth that we've not seen in any of them other than Flamingo Finance, I got to limit myself and say 60. Which obviously is still, about 9x, but it's not, but it's a lot less realistically than what a lot of the big top 100 alts can do. Bar your sort of obviously your biggest cryptos. I don't think Bitcoin's going to do a 9x. But that's my justification for why I don't think Neo can do that, do anything really special, unless I start seeing evidence to the contrary. And again, that's the grants program. That's a real push in marketing. That's a push in starting to develop in regions as much as possible outside of China, because they really have to build a real growth network across America and across Europe. And there's no history of evidence for that. So 60 might be less. Let's see. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Because I'm just going off of it based on evidence from the past 5 years. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you're a returning viewer, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel. It'll help you because the videos will make you money. And they'll save you money when I'm talking about cryptos that I'm not a fan of. And before I get into the news about yesterday and what's coming for Bitcoin, if you guys want to see the coins I own, go to copymycrypto.com. It's where I share every coin I own. I let the members know what gains I think the coins can have. I let the members know what percentage of my money I'm putting in. and what percentage of the portfolio it represents. And as a result, they copy along. And if you are looking to take the investment, like the workout of your crypto investing, then go check it out. Obviously, I deep dive into cryptos every damn day, do my research, and it can save you hassle. And when I'm looking for the next big coin, and I find it like I did with Phantom, and remember, in 2020, there was no crypto YouTuber making a big call about Phantom other than me. And when I find the next one, I will go onto my site. I won't do another course. I'll just go onto the site, tell the members exactly what I tell them with all the other coins. What can it do? What percentage of my money I'm putting in? And they can copy along. And if you want to get the next big winner in crypto, go check the site out. And remember, anything you read there, you can verify yourself on the channel's history, guys. Right, last thing. Bizlato. So DOJ announced an announcement yesterday. So they announced that they're going to do an announcement at like 12 noon Eastern time yesterday, and they did, which was basically that they were taking action against Bizlato, which is a peer-to-peer crypto exchange. They believe that that was helping in terms of funneling funds to Russia. And yeah, it was all a bit weird, guys. It was all a bit weird. It was all a bit off. And yeah, Chain Analysis stated in a report that the exchange had received $206 million from darknet markets, $224.5 million from scams, and $9 million from ransomware attackers. And that was from a report last February. So imagine what they've got since then. But regardless, and I'm fairly unbothered by this, what I actually want to talk about is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was rallying. Bitcoin, before the DOJ made the announcement, Bitcoin was above 21,400, which was a key resistance level. And the announcement caused fear in the markets, and Bitcoin's price tanked by about $1,000 over the course of sort of an hour and a half. Now Bitcoin is presenting a head and shoulders formation on the 4-hour charts. So Bitcoin could, now normally head and shoulders play out around 70% of the time. So we could see Bitcoin drop to the low 20,000s. But I will say the timing of everything seemed really off for me. I found it really bizarre or really coincidental, let's say, that the timing of the DOJ announcement of the announcement was at a point when Bitcoin was breaking above key resistance for the first time since like November. And I'm wondering if this is a manipulation of some degree within the markets where the whales have gone, right, we're going to sell, we're going to sell, we're going to sell. Any charts trader is probably looking at the charts going, okay, 70% of the head and shoulders formation playing out, so I'm going to short Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden, whales start buying Bitcoin left, right, and center, and tons of people get liquidated, and we see a rally. But what I can see effectively, the two scenarios, either this is a massive fake out and a manipulation by whales, where we're going to see Bitcoin have a rally back up to 22k across the next 3-4 days, or we're going to see the head and shoulders formation actually play out, and probably play out, tomorrow, and we'll see a dump down to the base of 20k, and if there's a 4-hour close below 20k, we're going to see a dump down back into the $19,000 region. But the timing, guys, just seemed really off to me. Maybe I'm being conspiratorial. Maybe I'm being suspicious. Maybe I'm seeing something where there isn't anything. But based on where Bitcoin is at right now, which is about 20,700, give or take, I think we're going to see a 6% move to either to the upside or the downside for Bitcoin. And if it's going to be downside, it will play out tomorrow. And if it's going to be upside, it could take till Sunday evening. But yeah, it's a weird one. It's a really weird one, and I find the timing of this very odd. I don't even feel like it needed to be an announcement. We are going after this guy because of this. I don't feel like, and it's news. Yes, it's news, and maybe it's the DOJ just going, "I want a pat on the back." It didn't feel like a new, something that required a frigging press conference from my perspective, which is why the timing of it all seemed a bit weird. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What did you think about this Bitslato thing? Did you in your head think bit of manipulation, or did you think, yeah, just another day? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Let's see how Bitcoin plays out over the next sort of 36 hours. Take it easy. Bye-bye.